Hi, whoever's viewing this video. It's been a very long time since I've actually posted a video showing some of the stuff that I dug up and found relating to New World Order research and, proving that the secret societies and, mystery schools are behind it, using their own websites, etc., thanks to the internet age. But I've had a lot going on lately, and I've had to move and a lot of other stuff, so it's stressful times. But I thought I would share with you something I kind of found today, sort of by, just kind of by accident. I was looking up some writings from this Kabbalist, Baal HaSalam, that guy right there. Yeah, Yehuda Leib Halevi, probably pronounced that wrong. Ashlag Baal HaSalam, the last generation, and it reminded me of some of the, the previous videos that I did showing how kind of it's almost like they're kind of playing an Armageddon type script on humanity, or at least using, like the Bible to sort of navigate us towards thinking that there's some kind of divine plan behind this New World Order they're bringing about, propagandizing us anyways into thinking that. Well, this is something from this Kabbalah Rabbi. He was a communist, I guess. So, I guess I'll go ahead and read this. But throughout time and throughout the world, wise men have failed to come up with a solution that would be accepted by all. I offer a genuine solution that is both acceptable and unites them all. The new society, the acceptance of the religion of, quote, love thy neighbor as thyself, unquote, as simple as that, meaning the religion is love thy neighbor as thyself, a just distribution of the profits. Where else have we heard that? Well, and collectivist to socialist language, they're usually using distribution of the wealth, but distribution of the profits, kind of the same thing, so that each works according to his skills and receives according to his needs. Of course, he kind of tries to make it sound fair and just, but communists usually use that language. You know what that means. A state-controlled economy. Private property exists, but its owner must not profit from it more than he really needs. Property owners will be under public supervision, or under self-trusteeship, or through bookkeeping. The unemployed will receive their needs equally with the employed. People who live in communes will receive equally with the workers. Profits will be utilized for building public assets. Sounds lovely to the freeloaders and socialists. But we kind of see this sort of system in other countries and how it just does not work and how you're basically a slave. But anyways, the will to receive that's imprinted in each creature has a different form to the creator's. Therefore, the soul departed from him, because a change of form in the spiritual is like an axe that cuts in two in the material. Thus, it is clear that what the Creator wants from us is equivalence of form by which we return and cleave to Him as before we were created. It is as the verse goes. To cleave to His attributes, as He is merciful, so shall you be merciful, meaning that we change our attributes, which are the will to receive, and accept the attributes of the Creator, which consists purely of bestowal in such a way that everything we do will be only to bestow upon our fellow man and benefit them to the best of our ability. By that we come to the purpose of adhesion with him, meaning equivalence of form. And the things that man must do for himself, the minimum needed for him and his family, is not considered a change of form, because necessity is neither praised nor condemned, and that will be discovered at the time of the Messiah. When that lesson is learned, we shall attain complete redemption. A path of Torah, or a path of pain. This technique will bring about a total destruction of the world in a world in the Third World War. Go back to some of my Armageddon script videos that I made. I show from the Rosicrucians of Pennsylvania, a link of theirs on veracity.org, talking about the same thing. There's this coming cleansing, this coming Third World War. So there you have it. It might have something to do with that 2025 thing I was also showing on my YouTube channel as well. So who knows? But there you go. You have another Kabbalah, a player in the New World Order, verifying that at least what they want anyways is to bring about some kind of an Armageddon or World War, or they're looking forward to it because it'll bring about their new age. The survivors will decide not to work for themselves more than is actually necessary and dedicate the remainder of their actions for the good of others. More socialist jargon. And if all the nations of the world consent that no man should care for himself but only for others, war shall cease to exist. The Torah, also method of equivalence of form, the Messiah will teach everyone to worship God through equivalence of form. Meaning that he'll prove that if people follow his way, they will be better off. However, if they do not take upon themselves the work of God, they will be led into a path of terrible pain and be destroyed by war. Then the nations of the world will seek advice on how to avoid wars, and they will come to the Messiah to Jerusalem, and he will teach them this Torah. Propaganda, blah, 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 blah. The religious formation of all the nations should first and foremost obligate its members to bestow upon their fellow man the concept of another person's life coming before one's own. And of course, this is, they can't just put, hi, we're devils, where we love suffering, we're evil. They have to sell their bullshit. So, of course, they're going to make, this agenda sound nice, charitable, Bible prophecy, blah, 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 blah. So keep that in mind when I'm reading this shit. Okay, where was I? Obligate its members to bestow upon their fellow man the concept of another person's life coming before one's own, a formation of, quote, love thy neighbor as thyself, unquote, meaning that one will not benefit from society more than the underprivileged. This is a comprehensive religion for all nations that will operate within the framework of the new society, or New World Order. But otherwise, each nation may pursue its own religion and traditions, and one must not interfere with the other. The laws of this equal to all religion bestowal are: one will work for others to the best of his ability. Yeah. And beyond that, if necessary, until there is no more hunger in the world. And while that, sounds noble at first, you're working to make peace. It's like that, I have him on my YouTube. I'm having sort of a moment of forgetfulness of his name. Famous socialist. I'll have to think of his name later or whatever, but I'll put the quote in the comment section. But, he was like, in socialism, you will be force-fed, force-clothed, and if we find that you are unable to contribute to how we see fit, basically, we will basically politely kill you. Summarizing, and not fully quoting the exact, but that's basically what he said. So it's kind of like that. Although one may be a hard worker, one will not benefit from society more than the underprivileged, so that the standard of living will be equal for all. Again, I might as well not even work. Why even bother? If you're just going to get chicken feed, according to the history of these socialist systems put into place, it's not even worth it. Although there is a religion, honors must be added that are compatible with the religion. He who bestows more upon society will receive a higher decoration. The laws of society will punish anyone who refrains from doing his utmost. Isn't that lovely? Each and every one must endeavor, according to this religion, to constantly improve the standard of living of the world, so that all those who come in it will take pleasure in their lives and enjoy life more and more. Not everyone must delve in spirituality. but only a chosen few according to the changing needs. So there you go, First Amendment gone. Freedom of religion. There will be a so-called Supreme Court, and all who wish to participate in spiritual life must first be permitted to do so by this court. Each individual or group who enter the new framework must take an oath of allegiance to observe all that is so because God has so commanded, or at least to pledge to teach his children that God has so commanded. Those who claim to settle for the ideology should be accepted on condition. If they live up to it, they can be fully accepted. Nevertheless, they must promise not to pass on to their sons their path of heresy. So you hear me out there, all you dumbass Christian Zionists who think that you're going to get a little stake in the little Zionist New World Order? Think again. They're just using you guys for their little propaganda. And once they get their agenda through their New World Order, your beliefs are going to be considered heretical. But to trust their education in the hands of the state. Oh, isn't that lovely? And if they want neither, they must not be accepted at all, for they will corrupt their friends, and the loss will exceed the profit. Must not be accepted at all. I wonder, will they put them in a work camp? There must first be a small organization whose members are willing to work according to their ability and receive according to their needs for religious reasons. They will work diligently as though they were contract workers, if necessary more than 8 hours a day. In this organization, there will be the complete administration as that of a state, so that the administration of that small society suffice for a framework for all the nations of the world. That organization will be like a center point that expands over nations and countries throughout the world, and all who enter that framework will accept the leadership and administration program of the initial organization, so that the whole world will be united in facing consequences of loss or enjoying the profit. All contradictions between members of society will be resolved between the relevant parties, and anyone who exploits the weakness or strictness of his fellow man will be ostracized from society. And, that can mean, they could really take advantage of that rule right there. If some exceptions are found in society, the public must be notified of them until they are reformed. If efforts to reform them fail, society should treat them as outcasts so that they cannot corrupt others in the society. Probably off to the work camp you go. No man will claim his needs from society. Specifically appointed people will inquire about the needs of each person and will see to their satisfaction, so that everyone is absorbed solely in bestowal and never needs to contemplate his own needs. This one's a funny one. The freedom of the individual should be maintained as long as it is not harmful to society. And wow. You could, you can just pervert the shit out of that rule. Anyways, if they consider running too much harmful to society, so you might run into a couple people, right? They'll just outlaw that or something. So that's a stupid, rule. It's a joke. Anyone who wishes to leave and join another society must in no way be detained, even if their leaving is harmful to society. There are 3 foundations of the circulation of the religion. And I want to see how... Sorry, I just got kind of distracted for a minute. The satisfaction of desires. In every man there is an unknown spark that demands to unite with God. And the mystery schools talk about that. And when it sometimes comes to life and awakens to know God or to deny God, if there is someone who can satisfy that need, he would agree to anything. In addition, there is the matter of the afterlife of reward in the next world. There is also the matter of the pride of the individual and the pride of the nation. 2. Proof that the world exists but for him, especially in the days of the atomic age. 3. Publicity, hiring people to spread these words to the public. There is no harder blow to the capitalistic regime than this new formation of society. We should not expect at all that the capitalist regime would disappear by itself. publicity. If one bears in mind that all wrongs are only amendable in the new society, it will not be difficult for him to devote himself to it. So, I mean, I'm not going to, for time constraints, I'm not going to read the full thing. I just wanted to show you guys a snippet of this. And what's interesting, I wanted to print it off because I like to print stuff off in case these guys, these scumbags, like to delete their, their own documented stuff where they have their emissions in here. So I like to print off whenever I find like articles like this. But I went to go to my printing and I could only print off one page, and that one page was basically, it didn't have the part about the World War III. It was very heavily edited, whatever. So I just thought I would just show you this. This is from this guy right here. Owner for the latter. Total communist. Again, he makes it, 1 minute out of one side of his mouth he's talking about, for our own good, we shouldn't have full individual liberty, basically. But, on the other side, he tries to make it, makes his propaganda sound, like he's helping the children. That's what they all do. But anyways, I heard of this guy through Dr. Michael Laitman and Ben Gurion. Ben Gurion was the individual. Oh, sorry. There we go. Oh, I meant to just highlight Ben Gurion, but you see him right there, right? According to Ben Gurion, he met with Yehuda Ashlag several times, was apparently surprised. I wanted to talk to him about Kabbalah, and he wanted to talk about socialism. But Ben Gurion was the one who said that the true United Nations would be located in Jerusalem with the new temple and everything. And that's where basically the New World Order would be. He's quoted in Look magazine, which I bought that issue of Look magazine, where that he's directly quoted. I think Bill Cooper in his book The Old and Pale Horse also used that quote too. So anyways, just wanted to show you that. Right now I don't have the time to really look up and put together things to make, some decent videos like I used to, but I have a lot going on. But I will try to get in the habit of maybe doing a couple here and there on showing stuff that I found like this. And this is really just to, share. And you guys can share this, spread it out, let people know that I guess scumbags like this existed and still exist. Dr. Michael Laitman still is alive, and he looks up to this fellow. He's a fellow Jewish socialist who pushes the New World Order all the time. So, okay, well, call us a night. Take care.